Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hi everyone, hello everyone. Today I would like to talk about negative nature factors and positive nature factors. And let's start with the positive nature factors. You see, the Creator Allah has given us free will, and free will allows choices, therefore autonomy, awareness, consciousness, whatever name you want to give it. And the number one priority of every single child of Adam right now alive on planet Earth is to worship the Creator Allah as a Muslim. That's the number one positive nature factor. So the number one positive nature factor is to worship the Creator Allah as a Muslim. Meaning being grateful to the one who created you, and that is the Creator Allah. Now, why Islam? Please just go to YouTube channel IERA. I think that's Islamic Education Research Academy. Type in new Muslims, revert Muslims. Read the Quran with the language you understand and with an objective mind, without any biases, and leave your emotional, personal, subjective experiences, like time travel it to the past. I mean, time traveling is not possible. Yes, so coming back to the number one priority. Also you can listen to my other videos regarding why Islam, and why Islam is important. But by the way, Islam is perfect, Muslims are not. Islam is the road to paradise. Islam is truth, because Islam has deterrents such as no alcohol, no gambling, no sex before marriage, all that stuff. I've mentioned all this in my previous videos. You can listen to them, or like I said, you could look. There's lots of information out there regarding why Islam. But so let's carry on with the positive nature. So number one priority, number one positive nature is to acknowledge, to understand, to find who God is, who is the Creator Allah, and be grateful to the Creator Allah. Now I will tell you a story from the Quran. The stories from the Quran are real. They happened, and Allah has put the stories in the Quran to learn from these stories, the real stories. So this story it's basically it's about Ibrahim alayhi wasallam. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was born in a village full of idol worshippers. And also what I want to say is all my mistakes are mine. All knowledge is from the Creator Allah. And I ask Allah to forgive me for my mistakes in this video, and in all my videos, and also in all my books that I have written. You can buy my books from Amazon, and my name is M.R. Abdullah, which the full name is Muhammad Raj Abdullah, and my YouTube channel is Motivated Muslim. So yes, coming back to and again I'm paraphrasing the story from the Quran. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was born in a village full of idol worshippers, and he when he was about 7 or 8 years old, he went to one of the factory, and one uncle was making a god from clay, and this god, don't forget, he was born in a village full of idol worshippers, basically Hinduism, and so Ibrahim alayhi salam said to the uncle who was making this god from clay, obviously false god, that it has big ears. Why does it have big ears? And the uncle said, oh, so it can hear everyone. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, showing respect, he just smiled and just left the factory. Long story short, he one day when the villagers, most of the villagers were out somewhere, he went to one of their temple, or in their temple, and took an axe with him, and and he basically broke all the smaller gods with his axe, and left the axe with the big god, which had two hands, in one of the hands, the axe. And so when the villagers came back and they saw what has happened, and obviously they were angry, and they called for Ibrahim. And first, some of them, basically at first they were asking him, does he know anything about what happened? And he said, why don't you ask this big God? Who, the big God might tell you what happened. And some of them thought, okay, this God made out of clay can't actually speak. Then they kind of figured out that he did this, so they want to punish him. And long story short, he's thrown in the fire. The Creator Allah saves Ibrahim alayhi salam. Few years later, he leaves this particular village and he goes to the next village, and he sees that this other village, they are worshipping the sun, the moon, and the stars. And he basically asks them, why are you doing this? And they compared themselves, well, we're kind of better than the village you come from. I mean, they're worshipping, statue gods. Look at the sun, it's awesome. Look at the stars, it's awesome. Look at the moon, it's fascinating. And he said, okay, that's interesting. And all this time, from the, asking the uncle regarding, why this particular statue god has a big ears, and, and the breaking the small gods in the temple, and all this time up to now, Ibrahim alayhi salam was always thinking. Now, one of the themes in this particular story you should take away from this story that I am telling you from the Quran is Ibrahim alayhi salam was always thinking. He was analyzing the situation, and he was thinking logically and rationally, which we actually don't have amongst the atheists. I'm sorry, and it's unfortunate, and I'm saying this, but I have come to understand the atheists, they don't actually think rationally or logically. For them, it's about the moment. Let's live in the moment. You only live once. All that stuff, which is incorrect anyway. But I don't want to go on a tangent here. So Ibrahim alayhi salam said basically to these people who are worshipping the sun, the moon, and the stars. And he said to himself, the sun, no, God, sun is God, no, I don't think so, and moon, God, I don't think so, stars, no, I don't think so. And basically, long story short, at that particular moment in time, Ibrahim alayhi salam said to himself and others around him that I only worship the one who created me. And I'm going to say this again. I only worship the one who created me. That is so profound. This, this is what we are talking about. Yeah? Ibrahim alayhi salam was referring to the Creator Allah, the one who created me. I worship the one who created me. Yeah? And that is the Creator Allah. So this is to emphasize the number one positive nature factor, which is to worship the Creator Allah. That comes first. This is very important. This podcast should be listened by every single person on planet Earth. Okay? Number one priority, number one job is to worship, is to be grateful to the one who created you. Yeah, number one priority, the number one positive factor from the dual nature, positive factors, is to worship, is to be grateful to the Creator Allah. And I tell you, basically, therefore you are Muslim and you will live a Muslim life and you will taste death as a Muslim. By the way, we don't die, we taste death. And you will get the ultimate gift, which is a place from the Creator Allah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Jannah, paradise is awesome. You see, there are palaces the palaces in paradise are so huge, the 30 kilometers in length or 60 kilometers in length and 30 kilometers in height, and rivers flow underneath them. I mean, paradise is awesome. I tell you one thing, look, everyone wants to live forever. These scientists of today, the agnostic scientists of today, they basically want to achieve immortality. Yeah, and there's a film called Tomorrow's World or World of Tomorrow. And it's all beautiful and it's all technological, and this is what they want, the exploration of the cosmos. This is what they're looking for, the heavens. And the Creator Allah, amazing, is offering everyone a place in Jannah, a home in Jannah. It's there for the taking. It's easy. Just become a Muslim. I'm telling you, Islam is perfect. Muslims are not, because of positive and negative nature factors. Now, secondly, in the positive nature factor, you have, of course, it doesn't have to be secondly, but you have, so just to summarize, the number one priority in the positive nature factor is to worship, is to be grateful to the Creator Allah, to the one who created you and me and the entire existence. Secondly, thirdly, is to be kind, to be polite, to understand and think, to love for others what you want for yourself. So I keep saying that, love for others what you want for yourself. I want to go to paradise and I want everyone to go to paradise. So please listen and share this podcast, my talk, to everyone. Give them the message. Look, Islam is from the beginning. The first prophet is Adam, peace be upon Adam, and the final prophet is Muhammad, peace be upon Muhammad. Islam came with, warning. So Islam was sent to, the Creator Allah sent over 120,000 messengers, and prophets. And basically, look, all the prophets and messengers came with good news and warning. And the good news is, worship the Creator Allah as a Muslim and go to paradise. The warning is, if you don't, then the punishment is severe from the Creator Allah, which is burning in hellfire. Having said this, the Creator Allah knows best. Now, so secondly, in the positive nature factors, you have to be polite, to be kind, to be nice. This is important, and of course, anything good you do, good deeds. Yeah, that's positive nature factors. Now, coming to the negative nature factors, which is jealousy. You shouldn't be jealous. You try not to be jealous. Try not to hate. Hatred, anger, greed. Greed is the root of all evil. Not money. Greed is the root of all evil. And so science cannot help you with your negative nature factors, because science cannot give you absolute truths. Science has paradigm shifts. It keeps changing. Newton was outdone by Einstein, and then Edwin Hubble, basically told Einstein he was wrong about the steady state theory. So, it keeps changing. You see what I mean? And science is look, agnostic scientists, they use a policy method called methodological naturalism and philosophical naturalism, which what they do, they keep the Creator Allah out of their experiment, of the inquiry. I mean, this is so wrong. Anyway, they talk about scientific progress. I mean, they have nothing to offer in regards to what I'm trying to say, that atheism has nothing to offer. Atheism leads to nihilism, and nihilism basically, they just want to have fun and die. And that's the thing. In Surah Mulk, the Creator Allah says that the guardian angels will ask these particular groups of people, did no warner come to you? And they will reply, yes, a warner came to us, but we did not believe the warner. Now, coming back to negative nature factors, so you have the number one negative nature factor is basically disbelieving in the Creator Allah. Yeah, number one. Look, it's Olivera Petrovich, I think, is the name of a psychologist mentioned by Hamza and Resources, said that it is natural to believe in God. And so you have people who, in negative nature factors, they choose. Don't forget, free will allows you to choose. And that's the idea of free will. And determinism, that's a separate issue. I mean, that's a separate issue, a separate topic. So negative nature factors, basically, number one negative nature factor is disbelieving in the Creator Allah. I mean, just think logically. Anyone, yeah? Did you create yourself? Seriously? No, you didn't. So, just stop, being a fool. Yeah, and eternal inflation, that leads to infinite number of universes, and that's the infinite regress, which is basically unmathematical. I don't want to get into all that. The videos are all there, and Hamza and Resources and others talk about all this infinite regress. Abdullah Andalusi and Muhammad Hijab. Yeah, so coming back to negative nature factors. See what the negative nature factors. So number one is disbelieving in the Creator Allah. By the way, your Creator, my Creator is the same Creator. Yeah, and then you have the jealousy, greed. Let's talk about greed. So Christopher Columbus was a very greedy man. He ended up, or he went, or he got lost, whatever it was, and then he ended up in the Native Americas, in 1498 or something like that, and then he basically killed all of them, most of them, and then invaded and took the land. That's greed. That's evil. That's really that's real evil, greed. The jealousy, basically, again, is really bad. And you have then anger. Anger is really bad. If you can't control your anger, if you can't, you should, but if you can't control your anger, you can end up killing somebody. And hatred, hatred is the root cause of racism. First is hatred. So example, Adolf Hitler, when he basically, before he was becoming the Prime Minister of Germany, he developed this prejudice against the Jewish people. Oh, look, they're doing well. Oh, that's jealousy. Oh, I don't have anything. Oh, look, I wanted to go to the art school. They didn't let me. Oh, look, I don't like how they look. Oh, I don't like how they talk. And that leads to hatred, and then it's racism. Yeah. So, like in America or wherever else, I'm talking about the topic racism, and it happens everywhere, actually, to everyone. So in America, oh, look at these African people, look at the color of their skin, the colored people, oh, they look funny, and then it's hatred, and then it's racism. So we have to avoid all that. Like I said, science cannot help you with your negative nature factors. I have an article on Amazon, that is the title, e-article, that is the title, Science Cannot Help You with Your Negative Nature Factors. This is a soul-searching exercise, rational thinking exercise. So, yeah, it's important to think. What's happening is nowadays we have too many children, or basically also adults. They just, either, so for children is playing games a lot. They're addicted to games, and adults, they are basically addicted to sports and Netflix, and so what I'm trying to say is, you want to now and then you want to read a book. There's lots of books to read. At the moment, I am reading What Darwin Got Wrong, but okay, maybe not. You probably don't want to read an academic book. However, you want to read a book, and like Roald Dahl books are interesting, and you can read the book, and you could, read it with your children. It's fun. Or the Quran story book for children. So that's basically it for today. Negative nature factors will not help you with your science. Sorry, science cannot help you with your negative nature factors. Science cannot help you with your negative nature factors. And just to emphasize why Islam, read the Quran with a language you understand read the Quran in a language you understand with an objective mind. What I mean is, leave your subjective and personal opinions. Leave your subjective and personal opinions, take them out of your mind, brain, your system. Then you will understand what the Quran is all about. Don't forget, when you are reading the Quran, you are reading the words from the Creator Allah. So, not in a sense, you are speaking to the Creator Allah, and vice versa, and the Creator Allah is speaking to you. So when you come across the disbelievers will be thrown into the fire, I'm paraphrasing, and the disbelievers are the worst creatures, you have to understand this is from the Creator Allah. The Creator Allah is saying to the disbeliever, to the non-Muslim, who is saying this? Not me, not my neighbor, the Creator Allah is saying in the Quran to you, the reader, that the non-believer, the disbeliever, the non-Muslim is a worse creature. The non-Muslim is ungrateful. The non-Muslim is arrogant. The non-Muslim is ignorant. By the way, atheism, that's arrogance. Yeah, and non-Muslim person, basically they are misguided, so they need to, come to Islam. Yeah, they need to come to Islam. So yes, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon.